Good morning students. My name is Priyanka from Kanha Kingdom Smart Education. Students, today we will study science, okay? And this is for class 3rd and today our topic is soil. Okay, we will study about soil. Okay, so let us move towards the contents. Let us see what are we going to study in this chapter. What are the subtopics of this chapter? Okay. So students, moving towards the contents. So students, today we will study about soil. Okay, how is soil formed? Okay, then different types of soil, what soil contains and uses of soil. These are the contents that we are going to study today. I will repeat again. We will study about soil, how is soil formed, then different types of soil, what soil contains and uses of soil. Okay? So students, starting with the vocabulary. Okay? Our first word is weathering. The spelling of weathering is W-E-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-G, weathering. Weathering means breaking down of rocks into small particles by natural phenomenon to form soil. I repeat again, breaking down of rocks into small particles by natural phenomenon to form soil. Okay. Weathering means breaking down of rock particles. That means the big huge rocks are broken down by the action of nature so that it later forms soil. Okay. Then our next word is remains. R-E-M-A-I-N-S. Remains means the left out part. Something that is left. Okay. And in this chapter, remains means the left out part of small parts of dead plants and animals. Okay, that helps in the formation of soil. Okay, then our next word is nutrients. N-U-T-R-I-E-N-T-S. Nutrients. Materials present in soil which are useful to plants. Some essential materials that are present in the soil that is useful to plants, that is nutrients. Okay. Then our next word is fertile. F-E-R-T-I-L-E. Fertile means to make something good. Okay. To make something more beneficial and good. Here fertile means soil is said to be fertile when plants grow well. When a soil is fertile, then plants grow well. Okay. Then our next word is humus. H-U-M-U-S. Humus. Okay. Humus means that remains of plants and animals in the soil. Humus means that remains of plants and animals into the soil. The plants and animals that are dead and the part of which that remains into the soil. It is called as humus. Then our next word is manure. M-A-N-U-R-E. Manure. Okay. Animals' waste that are mixed with soil to help plants grow well. Manure means it is an animal waste that is mixed with soil which makes the soil fertile and helps plant grow well in it. Okay, like cow dung. Okay. Now let us move to our content, that is soil. Okay. So students, now what is soil? Okay. Let me read out what it is written. Soil is defined as the top layer of the earth's surface in which we can grow plants that consist of sand, remains of dead plants and animals, and minerals with amount of water and air in it. Okay, so what is soil? Soil is the top layer of the earth's surface. The very top layer of the earth's surface is called as soil. Okay, in which we can grow our plants, we can build our house. Yes or no? The land, that is soil. Okay, and in soil we can grow our plants. Okay, and this soil also contains sand, remains of dead plants and animals. Okay, and it also contains minerals with amount of water and air in it. Our soil also contains water and air in it. Okay, so soil is defined as the top layer of the earth's surface in which we can grow plants. Okay, and it also contains dead remains of plants and animals, sand, okay, and minerals with amount of water in it. Understood? Now let us move to the next point. Now what are the different types of soil? Okay, 3 types of soil depending upon the size, feel and color of the soil particles are. Depending upon the size, feel and color, there is 3 types of soil. Okay, you can also feel the soil or not by touching, whether it is smooth or whether it is very much mixed with pebbles or stones. We can feel it or not. So depending upon the size, feel and color, there is 3 types of soil, that is gravel, sandy, clay. Okay, 3 types of soil are there depending upon the size, feel and color of the soil particles, that are gravel, G-R-A-V-E-L, gravel, sandy, S-A-N-D-Y, sandy, and clay, C-L-A-Y. Can you see I have written in the bold colors, bold letter with brown color? Those are gravel, sandy and clay. Okay, now what is gravel soil? This gravel soil consists of tiny stones and does not hold water. This kind of soil, this gravel soil, consists tiny stones. Okay, it consists of tiny stones and it does not hold water. That means it does not absorb water in the soil. Okay, the water gets dried up in this kind of soil. Understood? Now sandy. What is sandy soil? It is light and dry. This soil is light and dry. That means this soil is not heavy. Okay, it is very light and very dry. Water passes easily through this as particles in this soil is rough. The particles of the soil is very rough. It is not smooth. That is why it does not hold water easily. And this sandy soil is very dry and light in texture. Okay, like the soil in the deserts. Have you seen soil in the desert? It is very dry and light. Even if you hold it in your hand, it will slip out. Yes or no? And it does not hold water. If you pour water, the water will dry very fast and it will again turn dry and light. Okay, the soil will not remain wet for a long period of time. It will dry up easily. Okay, now our next soil is clay. Clayey soil are extremely fine. Extremely fine means very smooth and very tiny particles. It is not rough like gravel and sandy. Okay, water does not flow freely through this soil. That means it can hold water. Clayey soil can hold water. Understood? Because the particles of this soil is very fine, very smooth, very minute. Okay, very small particles. That is why this soil can hold water. Okay? Now let us move to the next point. Now students, let's study about how is soil formed. Okay? How is soil formed? Who created this soil and how is this soil formed? Okay? Soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks. How is soil formed? By the breaking down of rocks. Huge rocks, big rocks. When it breaks down into small pieces, then soil is formed. Understood? When huge, big mountainous rocks are broken down into small pieces, then this soil is formed. Okay? The natural agents like the sun's heat, the rain and the wind helps in the breaking down of the rocks to form soil. I already told you about the natural phenomenon. Weathering. Yes or no? What was the meaning of weathering? The breaking down of rocks into small pieces by natural phenomenon. These are the natural phenomenon. The sun's heat, the rain and the wind. These are all what? Naturally occurring. Yes or no? Can we do rainfall? No, we cannot make happen rainfall. Can we? No. It is all naturally occurring. Yes or no? And these are the natural agents like the sun's heat, the heat of the sun, then rain, wind. These are the natural phenomena which helps in the breaking down of the rocks to form soil. Okay, these are the natural phenomena that helps to break down the rocks to form soil. Okay, soil formation starts with the weathering of rock. I have already told you the meaning of weathering. Breaking down of rocks into small pieces by natural phenomenon to form soil is known as weathering. Okay, so this is how soil is formed. Okay, soil formation starts with weathering of rocks. Okay. See, it is written weathering means breaking down of rocks into small pieces by natural agents which later form soil. Okay, can you see the picture? The sun's heat, the wind, the rain, when it falls on a rock, it makes the rock break down. And it does not break down in one day only. It takes many years to break a huge rock. It takes many years. Okay, we cannot break a rock in one time only. It takes many times, many days, many years. Okay, then dead and decayed plants and animals also play a very important role in the formation of the soil. Dead and decayed plants and animals means the animals and plants which are dead. Okay, which are dead. And when they are dead and decayed means they are rotten. Okay, they mix up with the soil and they again form a soil Okay, these dead and decayed plants and animals, when they are dead, they mix up with the soil to form soil again. Okay, then it takes thousands of years to form a small amount of soil. I already told you. Soil is not formed in a day. The mountainous rocks, these decayed and dead animals and plants does not get mixed up with the soil, or these rocks does not break in one day only. It takes many years, thousands of years to make small amount of soil. Okay, and these rocks are broken down into small pieces by weathering, which means to break down the rock into small particles by natural phenomena, natural agents. And natural agents are the sun's heat, wind, rain. Okay, these are the natural agents that help in breaking down the rocks. And even dead and decayed plants and animals play a very important role in the formation of rocks. Understood? Now students, what does soil contain? What is present in the soil? Okay, what does soil contain? Soil contains humus, sand, clay and pebbles. Humus means the dead and decayed parts of plants and animals that get mixed up with the soil. That is called as humus. Sand, I have already told you, the dry and light soil, that is sand. Clay, clay is a very fine particles of soil. Then pebbles, pebbles means tiny stones in the soil. Okay, so these are the things that is present in the soil. Okay, humus is made up of the remains of dead plants and animals. What is this humus? This humus is the remains of dead plants and animals. Remains means the left out part of dead plants and animals, which later forms humus, and this humus is very fertile. The plants that you grow in this humus soil, it is very fertile. The soil that contains humus, if you grow your plant there, it will grow very, very healthily, very nicely. Okay, because humus holds the water and provides nutrients for the plant. Why? Because why does plants grow well in this soil that contains humus? Because this humus holds water. It holds a good quantity of water in the soil. Okay, and it also provides nutrients that is needed by the plants to grow. It provides the plant water, essential nutrients that is required by the plant to grow. That is why the plants that we grow in the soil that contains humus grow very nicely. Okay, then humus makes the soil fertile and is usually dark brown or black in color. This humus makes the soil very fertile. Whatever you grow in the soil that contains humus, it grows very well and it gives you a very good plant. Okay, because this humus makes the soil very fertile, and this humus is usually dark brown or black in color. Can you see the picture? It is dark brown and black in color. And earthworm. Earthworm is also present in the soil, which makes the soil very fertile. Okay, earthworm is called as friend of farmers because they makes the soil fertile. They makes holes in the soil through which the air and water enters into the soil, making the soil fertile, providing the plants essential nutrients to grow and water. Okay, that is why whenever you dig any kind of soil, you will always find earthworms in it. The insects that is present in the soil are earthworm. Have you seen an earthworm? long insects that crawl in the mud and sand. Not sand actually, the soil. Those are earthworm. Okay, this earthworm is very important for soil. Okay. Then soil also contains clay. Okay, this clay consists of very fine pieces of rocks. This clay contains very fine pieces of rocks, very small pieces of rocks. Clay contains very minute and small pieces of rocks. Okay, sand is the grainy part and consists of bigger particles of rocks. Okay, sand is also present in soil and it is the grainy, that means the particles that is present in the sand you can touch and feel, but the particles that is present in clay you cannot feel the stones because they are very small and very fine. Okay, but in sand you can feel the grainy parts like the soil, the pebbles in the soil. Okay, and consist of bigger particles of rocks like big small stones. Okay, then pebbles are small and smooth stones. What is pebble? Can you see the picture? Pebbles means small stones that is present in the soil. Okay. So students, our next point is soil contains water. How can we prove that a soil contains water? How can we say that a soil contains water? See there students, I have given you an experiment. When some garden soil is heated in a container covered with a lid, drops of water are noticed on the inside of the lid. This shows that the soil contains water. The water in the soil forms vapor when heated. The vapor touches the lid and cools down to form droplets of water. Okay. Now students, how can you prove that soil contains water? It is an experiment. See, I will tell you. First you take some soil in a container, garden soil. Okay. The soil that the soil that you have in your garden where you grow plants. Okay, you take that soil into a container and then you heat that container into a gas stove, but you have to cover that container with a lid. You cover that container with a lid. After some time, when you heat up, when the soil gets heated up, it releases vapor. Okay, it releases moisture. Okay. And how do you come to know that it releases moisture? When you will see the lid, you can see the droplets of water, small droplets of water. Okay, when that lid is cooled down and when you take off and when you will see the lid, you will find small droplets of water in the lid. This shows that soil contains moisture, water in it. Understood? This is the experiment which proves that soil contains moisture and water in it. Okay. If you take some mud from your garden into a container and when you heat it up, covering the container with the lid, after some time you will find that the vapor rises up and it forms small droplets of water into the lid. The moisture that is present into the soil, when it is heated up, it gives you some moisture, some vapor. Okay. And those tiny droplets of water you can see on the lid. If you take out the lid from that container, you can see tiny droplets of water in it. This proves that soil contains water. Understood? This is the experiment by which you can prove that soil contains water. Okay. Now students, our next point is soil contains air. Like soil contained water, soil also contains air. How can you prove it now? There is an experiment again. See, soil contain air. Take some soil in a glass jar. Pour water over it. Can you see bubbles in the water coming up? This shows that soil contains air. Tiny particles of air trapped in the soil escape when water is poured into the soil. Okay. Like soil contains water, soil also contains air. That is why plants grow into soil. Without air and water, how will plant grow? Because plant is a living thing. Yes or no? And every living thing needs air and water to live. Okay. We proved that soil contains water. And here there is another experiment which proves that soil contains air. If you take soil into a glass jar, okay, if you take some garden soil into a glass jar and when you pour water in it, you can see tiny bubbles coming up. Small tiny bubbles. You know now what is bubbles? Small round bubbles that comes up when we pour water into something. Those bubbles you can see bubbles in the water coming up. Okay, the bubbles in the water comes up. Okay, this shows that soil contains air. These bubbles are actually air that is trapped in the soil, and when you pour water in it, it escapes. Okay. When you pour water in it, the trapped air into the soil escape out, forming tiny bubbles. This proves that soil contains air. Okay. You can also do this practical at home. You can see whether tiny bubbles and tiny droplets comes out from the soil or not. Okay. This shows that soil contains air. Now students, what are the uses of soil? Why do we use soil? Okay. Some uses of soil are as follow. See, plants need soil to grow. Without soil, plants would have no place to grow. Yes or no? What does plants need to grow? Plants need soil to grow. Without soil, how can a plant grow? There will be no place to grow then. Yes or no? Can you grow your plant at home on the floor? Can it grow on the floor of your house? No, it will not grow. Plants need soil to grow. Okay. Then plants take in water and minerals from the soil. Plants take in water and minerals from the soil. The water and minerals that is present in the soil, plants take those water and minerals to live, to grow. Okay. Then farmers grow crops in the soil. Our farmers, they grow crops in the soil through which we get vegetables, food grains to eat. Yes or no? If farmers will not grow crops into the soil, how will we get our food to eat? The fruits, the vegetables, the food grains that we eat, the rice that we eat, how will it grow? To grow plants, soil is very necessary. Okay. Plants need soil to grow. Okay. Farmer make the soil fertile by adding manure into the soil. How does farmer make the soil fertile? By adding manure into the soil. Okay. Then Soil is home to many insects and animals like earthworms, beetles, ants, snails, rabbits, mouse, etc. Okay. Soil also provides home to many insects and animals like earthworm, these snails, some kind of insects. Where do they live? They live in the soil. Okay. So these are some uses of soil. Plants need soil to grow. Without soil, plants would have no place to grow. Plants take in water and minerals from the soil. Then farmers grow crop in soil, and farmers make the soil fertile by adding manure into the soil. Okay? Soil is home to many insects, like soil provides home to many insects like earthworm, beetles, ants, snails, etc. Understood? Now students, let us revise once what did we study. Let's starting with the vocabulary. What is the meaning of weathering? Weathering means breaking down of rocks into small pieces or particles by natural phenomenon to form soil. Okay. Then what was the meaning of remain? Remain means small parts of dead plants and animals. Okay. Then what is the meaning of nutrients? Nutrients means materials that is present in the soil which are useful to plants. Okay. Then what is the meaning of fertile? Soil is said to be fertile when plants grow well. Okay. Humus. The meaning of humus is dead remains of plants and animals in the soil. That is humus. Okay. The dead remains of plants and animals in the soil forms humus. Okay. Then manure. Animals' waste that are mixed with soil to make it fertile. It is called as manure. Okay. Then what is soil? Soil is defined as the top layer of the earth's surface in which we grow our plants. Okay. That consists, and soil consists sand, dead remains of plants and animals, minerals, water. Okay. That is soil. Okay. Then depending upon the size, feel and color, soil are of three types, that is gravel, sandy and clay. Gravel soil consists tiny stones and gravel soil does not hold water. Okay. This gravel soil does not hold water and it consists tiny stones. Okay. And stones does not absorb water. That is why this kind of soil does not hold water. Then sandy. Sandy soil are light and dry in nature and water easily passes through this soil. Sandy soil also does not hold water. Okay. Then clayey soil are extremely fine and this clayey soil holds water because water does not flow freely through this soil. Okay. Then how is soil formed? Soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks through natural phenomenon like heat of the sun, rain, wind. Okay. And this phenomenon by which soil is formed is weathering. Okay. Weathering is the breaking down of rocks into small particles by the natural phenomenon like the heat of the sun, wind and rain, which forms soil. The broken pieces of rocks forms soil. Okay. And formation of soil takes many years. Okay. The dead and decayed plants and animals also play very important role in the formation of soil. The dead remains of plants and animals also plays important role in the formation of soil. And formation of soil takes 1,000 years. To form small amount of soil, it takes 1,000 of years. Okay? Then what does soil contain? Soil contains humus, sand, clay and pebbles. I have already told you about humus. The dead remains of plants and animals is called humus, and soil contains dead remains of plants and animals that forms humus, and humus makes the soil very fertile so that the plants can grow well in the soil. Okay, and this humus, why does this humus makes the soil fertile? Because humus holds water and provide all the essential nutrients that is needed by the plant to grow. Okay, and this humus is usually dark brown or black in color. The humus soil is usually dark brown and black in color. Okay, and soil also consists clay. Okay, very fine pieces of rocks. Okay, then sand. Soil also contains sand, which contains grainy part and are bigger particles of rocks. Okay, soil contains clay, sand and pebbles. Okay, clay are very minute particles of rocks, and sand are grainy particles of rocks. Okay, then pebbles are small stones that we find in the soil. Okay, small smooth stones that we find in the soil. Okay, then how can we prove that soil contains water? We can prove it through an experiment. Okay, if we take some garden soil into a container and we heat it covering with a lid, after some time we can notice that the vapor from the soil, it evaporates and it gets accumulated in the lid, which later forms tiny droplets of water. This is how we can say that soil contains water. Okay, and soil also contains air. This can be also proved by an experiment. If we take some soil in a glass jar and if we pour water into that soil, tiny bubbles comes up in the water. Okay, this shows that the soil contains air. Okay, the tiny particles of air that is trapped in the soil escape when we pour water into the soil. Okay, the tiny particles of air that is trapped into the soil, it escapes when we pour water into the soil. That is why it comes up with the tiny bubbles, which prove us that soil contains air. Okay, then what are the uses of soil? Plants need soil to grow. Yes or no? Then without soil, plants would have no place to grow because plants grows only in the soil. Then farmers grow crops in the soil. Farmers make the soil fertile by adding manure in it. I already told you the meaning of manure. Manure means waste material of animals that are mixed up with the soil to make the soil fertile. Example, cow dung. Okay. Then plants take in water and minerals from the soil. Yes or no? Farmer grow crops in the soil. That is why we get fruits, vegetables, food grains to eat. Yes or no? Then soil is many home to many insects like ant, earthworm, beetles, snails, etc. Rabbits, mouse, etc. Okay. Soil is very important for us. Okay, students, I will give you some question. You please do it in your copy. You please practice this in your at home. and you please write down the question and answers in your copy, okay? So students, our first question is, what is soil? Name the different types of soil. Okay, what is soil? The topmost layer of the earth in which we can grow plant is called soil. The different types of soil are gravel soil, sandy soil, clay soil, depending upon the feel, color and texture of the soil, okay? Then how is soil formed? Soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks, big huge rocks, by natural phenomenon which form soil, okay? Then what does soil contains? Soil contains air and water. Yes or no? Then what is humus? The dead remains of plants and animals in the soil is called as humus. How does humus help the soil? Humus hold water into the soil and provides all the essential nutrients to the plants. Okay, that is why humus is very important in the soil. Okay, mention any two uses of soil. Plants need soil to grow. Yes or no? Plants absorb water and minerals from the soil. Farmer needs soil to grow crops. Then soil provide home to many animals, insects. Yes or no? So these are some uses of soil. You can write down only two uses. Okay? So these are the questions. You please write down in your copy at home. Okay? So students, that was all for today. And in the next class, we will continue with our further topics. Okay? Till then, take care of yourself. Study well at home. See you again, students.